everyone, what's up? AB Scott, this is your boy Abbas. Welcome back to the family, welcome back to AB React. Guys, I am here to check out another interesting one. This one is all about Billy Maher, and of course I know I reacted to such video earlier. I think that should be last week, and you guys were like I should go back to check out another of his video. So when you are ready to see this one, you do well to smash your like button, join the family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button and then on notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendation, suggestion, guys, always do well to leave it right there in the comment section. Okay guys, I am so eager to check this out. Let's do this.
All right, welcome to Overtime. Here's our panel. He's a contributing writer at The Atlantic and producer of the documentary Fooding Too, Eric Schlosser. He's a New York Post columnist and author of The War in the West, Douglas Murray, and he's a New York Times contributing writer whose new book is The Age of Grievance, Frank Bruni. All right, guys, here are the questions. What are the panel's thoughts on a Virginia school board restoring Confederate names? Oh, yeah. I saw this today. The schools there, 2 schools in Virginia, restoring, I think the Stonewall Jackson is getting his name back on the school. Didn't see that coming. Is it a sign of backlash to DEI? Yeah. I mean, it's a backlash thing. It is. And always this country never knows where to stop in the middle. It just never can find. It's like the thing that goes bing, ba, bing, ba, bing, that people have on their desk.
A pendulum?
Yeah. That steel balls.
Oh, okay.
You know the steel balls. Anyway. So what do you think about it, panel?
It's slightly dangerous terrain, but I can throw one thought out. I looked into this some years ago when the statues started coming down in 2020, and there are some places where I think there was like very weird overreach, and I can understand some places where some locals might have got resentful about that. If you go to Monument Avenue in Richmond, there are no monuments. It's just an avenue with a lot of stone bases on which you could put a statue at some point, but there aren't. If you're into plinths, it's a great place. It's a lovely place. And in fact, the only statue that is still there is what's his name? Arthur Ashe, the tennis player.
Arthur Ashe?
Yeah. So there's a big statue of him. It's the only one still standing, and he's got a child kneeling there with a book, and he's got the tennis racket up. And unfortunately, it looks like he's about to beat the child. But it's just, I can. My point is, I can understand if I were a local, I might have got a bit annoyed about this. Yeah.
But I think it's worth remembering that the Confederacy celebrated slave owning, and these statues weren't built during the Confederacy.
Sure.
They were built when the Jim Crow laws were being enforced and segregation was really being enforced. So I think we need to know our history and honor our history, but I can understand how it would be tough to live in a town that is celebrating people who really thought that slavery was a great thing.
Well, everybody thought that, by the way. I mean, I agree. Now, first of all, to re-put the statue up?
No, that's
sure. Great. I mean,
But you can do what museums call retain and explain. I mean, you say we need to know our history. How are people going to know their history if there's no statues representing anything that happened except for one side? I mean, in most countries, like France, for instance, France said in 2020, the president himself said, we will take down no statues, we need to know all of our history. And that's
in
to
the Soviet Union, should they have kept the statues of Marx and Lenin up after Russia became a republic?
They did. I've been to them. Lots of the former Soviet republics put all the statues in a park, for instance, where you could then go to look at them. And that's
a museum would be great.
Right, it is.
But a lot of the statues we're talking about are not explanations, they're venerations.
Sure,
exactly.
And if they're celebrating, as you just spoke so eloquently to, if they're celebrating things like slavery and the Confederacy, then I think it's worth having a conversation about whether they belong.
And they were traitors.
And they were traitors.
They were traitors. This was a
they
war
were-
against a secessionist.
Yeah, but people also have to remember, I mean, look, there are obviously cases like that, where, like Stonewall Jackson, I don't think you particularly need to have a school named after. But, don't forget in 2020, this rampage went all the way through to any high school named after Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
Well, so there's a logic,
Right.
and it can get out of hand. But
And it got out of hand very fast.
You were talking about what might happen with the Trump administration. I hope that we're not going to have in Monument Valley the January 6th insurrectionists and what was the guy with the horns? Statues of those rebels.
I could see.
But he will get them out of jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will pardon them.
But I mean, again, on this slavery thing, don't put up statues of traitors who supported slavery, but also teach kids the truth.
Yeah.
Slavery was a horrible thing that everybody in the world did, including people of color in other parts of the world. It's all through the Bible. Every civilization did it. They didn't even think it was wrong. There's no laws against it in the Bible. There's a lot of laws about it, and nobody ever goes, oh, maybe we should just not do it. Never crossed their mind.
Right.
Again, teach the whole story would be my
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
Okay.
Of course.
So, because, should cities employ safe use sites to combat the drug epidemic and help addicts? Well, Portland just pulled back on that. I think it was Portland, or maybe it was San Francisco, maybe both. They had that, let's give out free drugs, see what happens. I think it's a great idea, but I'm not an addict.
Yeah.
Addicts, to them, they were just like, great, more drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't seem to work.
I just did a documentary on the fentanyl crisis recently. I went to some of these safe use sites, and there's so many problems about it, because on the one hand, there's a very good idea. It's a compassionate idea that you give users a facility where they can shoot up with needles that are clean, and there's Narcan in case they overdose, and this brings them back round. And it's certainly, in that way, it's understandable. The bit that's the problem is like 10 blocks around any safe use site is covered with needles and people trying to sell you fentanyl. So you have to weigh them up.
Okay. How does our tiered economy, this is for you, Frank, tiered economy contribute to people's sense of grievance? Oh, yeah, that's in your book.
Yeah, no, I write a lot about that in the book. I think one of the things that's happened to us is our economy has become such an engine of envy, right? Our service economy is tiered in a fine-grained way that it never was before. When I was a teenager and I went to a rock concert, I remember getting up at 3 a.m. and going to the Hartford Civic Center, that's what it was called at the time.
Who were you seeing? I have to know.
Queen.
Queen.
And I'll tell you, right, but here's the thing, there were basically 3 sets of seats. There were 3 ticket prices.
Right.
And if you wanted to sit, as I did, close to the stage, I got 8th row, what you did wasn't shell out $10,000 or more, as people do for one of the like 250, 350 prices for a Taylor Swift ticket. You actually went in a quasi-egalitarian way and you stood outside online. Got into the 8th row, caught Freddie Mercury's tambourine when he threw it out at the end of the show. Those were.
I still got it.
But what happens? I ended up losing it over time, which is a terrible
Suddenly
story.
it's the Kelly Clarkson show.
But you take the Taylor Swift concerts as an example, right? People are paying so many different prices, and then they are going on their social media feeds and they're posting pictures of how close to the stage they were. Sometimes it's a family of 6. You're looking at $10,000 shelled out for one evening.
Sure.
We are more aware of the people who live on the echelon above us, the echelon above them, the echelon above that. It is in our faces in social media all the time, and I think it fills us with envy and drives us apart. It's part of our grievance culture.
Yes. Whenever I read about the prices of these tickets, especially Taylor Swift, Beyonce also, I mean, sure, all the big acts, I'm just amazed. It makes me think I don't understand the American economy at all.
It makes me think I'm glad I didn't go.
Well, that's that too, but that so many people can afford this. And most of them are kids. Or pretty young, right? I mean, teenagers, tweens. I mean, I guess her fan base goes all the way up.
Yeah, they're the ones you were talking about before who are living in the basement with their parents.
Right. So you're saying
that's how they have the money.
That's how they have the money, right. Yeah, my generation ruined the world, but they always take the money. I noticed that. Does the junk food, this is for you, Eric,
Yeah.
does the junk food that Americans eat contribute to the decline at the level of our intelligence and empathy? Oh, I guess it's saying, does it, we know it affects the body, does it affect the brain?
I think that some of these artificial sweeteners may turn out not to be good for your brain, but I think
What do you mean may? Really? Is there any doubt that aspartame is poison?
I have to hedge my answers because...
Well, I don't.
Because I have you can afford better lawyers. I'm constantly worried about getting sued, but the evidence suggests it affects the brain. But I really think it's the mass culture that's affecting people's thoughts more than it is the junk food. The junk food is just making people really unhealthy and shortening lifespans.
All right, well, let's go have a drink. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
That was very interesting. This is totally fun, educative. They actually had to ask them, each of them, different question. And the last one, Eric actually said something, or his own question had to do with, about junk food. And he said that junk food actually made people or makes people to be unhealthy. Come on, I really want to know more about this. And guys, what do you have to say? What do you really have to say? Do you agree with them? Did you enjoy the video? Let me know in the comment section. Let's just say something like, let's talk about all these things, because that was an creative one, that was a very, very educative one. So if you really enjoyed this video as much as I did, do want to smash your like button, join the family, join AB React by always clicking on your subscribe button and then on your notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendation, suggestion, guys, always do also leave right in the comment section. All right, AB Squad, this is where we will draw the curtain for today. So until then, stay safe, stay positive, and see you guys in my next video. Bye, and God bless you all. Bye.